Been a really fantastic first day at GBF Africa, and one of the things I love most about this forum, and I hope you all find the same, is the ability to connect with lots of different people and to make incredible things happen. For example, I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks, this is my 6th GBF. At one of the past ones, I met Mo, and we became friends through GBF. And started talking about some of the healthcare work I've been doing. And literally, in Dubai, we decided, why don't we partner together and do something in TZ to help expand and promote healthcare infrastructure there. So this is the sort of thing that happens here. And so I really want to encourage people to make meaningful connections and see ways in which we can further and push the progress of UAE and Africa. So some key takeaways from today. We started off the day learning a lot about UAE-Africa trade, which, as we've learned, has eclipsed 50 billion and continues to grow quite rapidly. We learned, of course, from His Excellency about the landmark port deal with DP World, which is going to be quite exciting when you think about the importance of infrastructure to our continent's socio-economic transformation. In New Alliances, we learned about both the bottlenecks and opportunities with the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. And this is a theme that I think that has come up a number of different times in multiple sessions, specifically looking at the different ways in which policies, regulations, private sector, and government can all come together to facilitate improved collaboration and continued intra-Africa trade. Importantly, in the final investment frontier, I think two things that really stood out. The first was this idea of the youth as an asset class, and to really think deeply about where are the youth located, what activities are they up to, and so that necessarily brings up the great opportunities inherent in digitization and the digital economy. There was also the important issue, which I think gets overlooked. Our women. Investing in our women. We simply cannot reach where we need to be in terms of our socio-economic transformation if we leave half our population behind. It is imperative that we invest in our women, and I think that as we continue to see the rise of the digital economy, it also raises new concerns about ways in which we exacerbate some of these inequalities. And it's something we need to pay attention to, in addition to, of course, creating the conducive environment with policy and regulations and government actions to promote investments. Unleashing Africa's power, if you recall, Her Excellency spoke about the prism of partnership and looking at the different ways in which UAE and Africa can continue to build on a relationship of trade and investments and mutual exchange of ideas and IP. Big factors there. We heard from His Excellency, the President of Congo, talking about infrastructure, energy, climate change, right, and how to kind of balance that. And of course, the imperatives of job creation and really creating a sustainable economy that will not just result in economic growth, but would also create shared economic prosperity. And there again, the important topic of digitization came up. We spoke to the head of the Africa Continental Free Trade Secretariat and really learned about how trade is going to be one of the core pillars for the economic recovery for our continent in a post-pandemic world. In the contactless economy, we looked at, ironically, that one of the silver linings from the pandemic was an acceleration in the digital adoption curve. And there's a real opportunity for massive growth in the digital economy. I had mentioned earlier how, this year alone, we've already seen a number of unicorns emerge on the continent. Most recently, Andela, a few months ago, Flutterwave. And these are companies that have only been around for a few years and yet have already reached over $1 billion in valuation. Really extraordinary, lots of opportunities there. Capital markets, We learned again the importance of really building and deepening local capital markets, especially because having local foreign currency allows us to have a more sustainable financing arrangements for our companies and removes some of the macroeconomic risks inherent in having USD or foreign denominated funding. There was also lots of interesting conversations about lessons from the UAE, particularly around building a robust domestic investor base that can support these businesses. And finally, made in Africa, for Africa, by Africa, we have learned about incredible opportunities to be able to actually manufacture for the continent. I mean, 1 billion bottles. That alone, I think, is illustrative of the opportunities we have, and especially with the free trade. Us now having the largest free trade area, it only creates more and more opportunities, I think, for us to be able to take advantage of our domestic market. So all in, it has been an extraordinary day, lots of wonderful learnings, and we're really grateful and thankful to all our speakers and to all the moderators and to the organizers for a wonderful Thursday. Look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow for another exciting second day of the conference, and hope you'll take advantage of the rest of the day to visit the expo. There will be guided tours as aforementioned. And with that, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy Dubai and Wakanda forever.